The written and spoken words of Dr. Maya Angelou have touched and inspired so many people. Her profound body of work inspired Sterling Publishing to choose Dr. Angelou as the first living poet to be part of the celebrated series Poetry for Young People. The editors chose 25 of her poems to introduce to children. Many of them are poems we have already grown to love. And Dr. Angelou is with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. It sounds so good. I wish I was writing a poem right this minute.
Well, we'll finish this interview quickly so you can get down to business. Now, they've done these books before.
Yes,
and it's normally with people who are long past.
Well, not only that, but dead and old and white and male.
And you are none of the above.
There have been two women, Innocent Vincent Millay and Emily Dickinson.
Right.
And one black, Langston Hughes, before me. But the rest of the people mostly are European, English men. And so I'm laughing up my other sleeve now.
The pictures, that not only have they chosen exquisite, wonderful poems of yours, but in the book are these beautiful, beautiful illustrations. True. They're just
Jerome
amazing.
Lagarigue.
Yeah.
But the editor was my chosen editor.
Yeah.
And his name is Edwin Wilson. He's a past president of Teachers of English. He's an exquisite understanding of English. And he teaches it and has taught it at Wake Forest.
So you trusted him?
I trust him.
Yeah.
And I said, choose what you think. And we would talk sometimes, but I never had to talk him out of anything or me into something.
Into it, yeah. I was thinking that just when I knew you were going to be on the show, I thought about the inaugural morning. That amazing sun-drenched morning. It was so warm. It was so beautiful that day of the first Clinton inauguration, and your voice booming down Constitution, right? And we're all sitting there and we're all embracing those moments of hope and opportunity and possibility.
Yes.
Just in the last couple of weeks, we hear about these nooses in professors' offices or on a play yard at a school in Louisiana. When you hear about those things, what do you think about our times?
I think it is imperative that we see how far we've come. And this is not forced seeing the glass half full. But really, we have to see there was a time when those nooses were not empty. There was a time when those nooses were not only not empty, but holding the precious life or the death of some black man, generally, and they didn't cause a stir. Now, empty nooses earn first page one at coverage, and there are more people who decry that sort of behavior. We have come a long way, and Harry, the reason I'm insistent that we say so is I don't want young people, young blacks, white, Asian, Spanish-speaking, Native American, I don't want them to think that with the lives and deaths of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Fannie Lou Hamer and the Kennedys and that they weren't able to make any change. If so, then the young person can say, well, there's no point in me trying.
Right.
You see?
I think that's the title of another poem, Empty Nooses, right? Maybe.
Thank you.
Can you read or recite just a little bit of something from the book? Yeah.
Well, there's a poem in there called "And Still I Rise," and it's a favorite of mine, and it's an American favorite now. So all sorts of children say the poem, and sometimes the people are small people in elementary schools, and they have to be put up on soapboxes, and there they say, "Mommy, you may write me down in history. I rise. And then, because quite often the school is named for me, the children will turn and say, I love you, Dr. Angela. And I have to sit there with a straight face and say, yes, darling.
This is a serious poem.
The poem is, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, there I go.
I rise.
Rising.
I rise. I rise. Amen. And
Amen.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you very, very much for having me. I love watching you, and I loved you this morning. The way you handled the questions to Madame Bhutto was so important, and so important that you got that last statement from her. I sometimes want the journalist, stop pressing. This time you were right. To ask her, would you give your life for your country? She said, in effect, other people are risking their lives. I must at least risk it. And see, that liberates all of us.
And she's rising.
And she's rising. Thank you.
Great to see you.
Thank you.